This mom is looking great today. I think today's gonna be the day that she has her first bread babies.
Alright guys, and it's day 3 of making some sourdough bread. Now we're finally gonna make some bread. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to tell you guys about this book. This is the book that I used in pastry school to learn all about bread. I love this book. It really lets you nerd out about bread. So if you want to go further into it, because we're going to stay pretty basic for the beginners and make it as simple as possible in these videos. But if you want to dive deep into bread, learn about desired dough temperature, learn about all different types of flour, there's a really cool pumpernickel recipe in here too. One of the things that blew my mind when I was in pastry school was how good fresh pumpernickel bread is, because the stuff you get in the grocery store, it doesn't even mimic the same flavor. I don't know what they're trying to do with that, but you know, if you have time, definitely try out a pumpernickel recipe. This book is written by Jeffrey Hamelman, and it's called Bread, Baker's Book of Techniques and Recipes. So go check it out. Alright, so Mom's looking great today. She's nice and bubbly. She smells great. Give her a quick smell real quick. So I'm going to measure out. Well, that is a strong smell. It's good. Alright, so I'm going to measure out 200 grams. I know some of you might be like, you're switching to grams. Why? It's just easier when you're making bread to do grams. You don't really have to understand grams. You don't have to convert. Your digital scale should have a setting that'll just do grams. In this bowl, I have 700 grams of water. All right, and it's about skin temperature. You know, you can use a thermometer, but I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. When it comes to yeast, you don't like it too cold or too hot. If it's too hot for you, then it's actually, if it's hot for you, if it doesn't feel lukewarm, it's probably too hot to make bread. So I just put my hand in there with the water running, and then I'm like, oh, this is about skin temperature, lukewarm, ready to go. All right, so I had 700 in here. I have 1,000 grams of bread flour. You can divide this flour into different flours if you get creative. Maybe 900 grams bread flour, 100 grams wheat flour. But I don't have any wheat flour. I'm just gonna go straight up with the bread flour. And I have 20 grams of salt. Let's talk about salt for a second. Okay. Salt kills yeast. Yeast doesn't like salt, but salt, not only does it add dimension and wonderful flavor to your bread, it also strengthens and tightens your gluten. So you're gonna need salt in your bread, or it's gonna be kind of like So, but we're gonna add that last. So this way, we're not adding it directly to yeast, and we're kind of it'll damage the yeast a little bit in the process, but the yeast will be able to recover. If we just poured a bunch of salt right into our starter, it'd kill it. Alright, so first I'm going to measure out 200 grams of starter. I'm going to put that into my water. I'm going to mix that up, and then I'm going to add in my flour. So 200 grams. I'm actually looking for my bowl scraper. 200 grams, bowl scraper. It's going to help out. Whoop. 25, 90, And I'm gonna feed the rest of this Mom, just like we did yesterday. I'm gonna weigh out how much I have left. Alright, that's 200. Which I have a lot left, so that's really good. But I'm actually gonna start putting it in the refrigerator because it's warm in my apartment. The yeast are having a little too much of a good time in there. I need them to slow their party down and kind of relax a little bit because I want to do a couple more things besides make bread. Another note, timing is everything in bread. I'm starting this video really late, but I'm gonna be, I'm usually up pretty late. So if you're a morning person, start it first thing in the morning, because after we mix up the initial bread, we're gonna have to put some folds into it. Alright, so I'm gonna mix this up. You can see that my starter, this is actually really awesome. My starter's floating. That's pretty cool. It's floating because it's got so much air in it. So the yeast are doing their job. Now it's floating. I know my bread's gonna rise. So this is really amazing. I'm very excited about it. Nerding out. Alright, so I'm just gonna put Mom over here for a second while I mix up this bread, and then I'll go back to feeding her. So I got my 700 grams of water, 200 grams of starter. I'm gonna mix it up using my hands again. Nice. If you could smell what this smells like, you probably won't be super excited to put your hand in it, but you're gonna learn to love it, I guarantee you. So I'm just mixing it up, breaking up the clumps, getting it nice and dispersed into my water. Then I'm gonna add in my flour. Ooh. Okay, so I'm mixing it up. It's gonna be kind of like a shaggy mess. And that's because, on a almost like a microscopic level, this water, hasn't fully hydrated the flour yet. So by letting it rest, we're kind of just letting the water hydrate the flour. And this might be a little bit dry as I'm looking at it, but we'll see. Alright, trying to get rid of all the clumps. Might take you a couple minutes, it's okay. Oh, no, it's picking it up. That's good. Alright. So I thought it was a little bit dry, but it just took a minute to hydrate. It's been a long time since I made bread. But if we take a look at it right now, alright, it's a shaggy mess. Alright, that's what we want. Alright, so I'm going to try to get some of it off my hands. And we're going to let this dough fully hydrate. And we're going to put it in the first fold. This is the part where I'm talking about timing, okay? We're going to put in some folds instead of kneading it. All right, it's gonna take about 2.5, 3 hours to do this, but it's time consuming, but it's not like I'm standing here for the full 2.5, 3 hours. Basically, I'm gonna set a timer, and every half an hour, I'm gonna come back and put another fold in it. So this is great to do while you're in quarantine, because maybe you got a half-hour episode of something you want to watch, or maybe like me, you probably should be doing some video editing tutorials to make your YouTube channel better, or I don't know, maybe you're doing laundry, whatever. So I'm gonna clean off my hand. For a baker, the best way you want to clean off your hand. Alright, you're gonna start from over here, and come up and around your fingers, and then you go around your thumb too. Alright, do that a couple times, and then just throw it back in. Dough is not great for your plumbing. Dough is awful for your plumbing. So always scrape as much dough into the garbage. And this doesn't matter if it's bread dough, if it's cookie dough, whatever. Even if you have a garbage disposal. Always scrape as much as you can with your bowl scraper. This is like a $5 investment. Best $5 you'll spend, because you're going to save a lot of money on your plumbing. Always scrape as much as you can into the garbage before you wash your bowls. Alright, so that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wet like a dish towel, clean dish towel, not a dirty one. And I'm just going to lay it over my bowl, and I'll come back in a half an hour. So, see you soon.